What's up, you sweaty nerds and greasy degenerates? Darkstar Hell is coming to Aether, and I don't think you should pull for her. There's three main reasons, and let's jump into why. She's also known as Hella on the CN network, at least that's what she was called before, as far as I know, but she's going to be called Darkstar Hell on Global, and let's jump into why you might not want to pull for her. So Aether has been out on the CN network for actually a very, very long time. They're really, really far ahead of where we are on the global release. So I just wanted to show you where Darkstar Hell sits on the tier list for the CN network, and I wanted to show you where some other characters sit on the CN network that are coming out literally right after Hell. Two units that are amazing come out right after Darkstar Hell's banner. So I wanted to show you guys where they sit on the tier list compared to Darkstar Hell. Now you see here, Darkstar Hell sits at tier 0.5, which is very, very good. You might recognize Osiris, but far above her will be some other characters that are coming out soon, right after Hell, that are actually much, much better than Darkstar Hell. And for a lot of reasons, and I'll explain why more in just a moment here, but these two characters right here, this character on the bottom here, is a really, really amazing unit. This character above, this character right here sitting at 97 is known as Hera. Hera is an amazing support unit that is very, very, very good, and a lot of people have been saving for her because she can basically just like make your team work no matter like what, because she's so good. And right here below her, this is Hades. A lot of people really like Hades' aesthetic. Hades is an S tier DPS unit, like a hyper carry DPS. So, picking up these two units will literally make your team so powerful. And as you can tell, they're at tier 0. They're very, very strong units, and they're going to be really, really strong units. Arguably the two best units you can get your hands on for the global release for a really, really long time. When these two characters come out, like I said, they're going to be the best characters in the game for a really, really long time on the global release. So I would be saving for these two characters. Right here on the bottom you have Hades, and on the top here you have Hera. I would save for these two characters because they're going to be super omega OP for the global release for a really long time. I'll put a link to that tier list in a pinned comment and in the description down below, but another reason why you might not want to pull for Darkstar Hell, and you'll see in the imagery here in just a moment, is that she's kind of a boring playstyle to use. A lot of people on the CN network don't actually like playing her because she's a ranged DPS unit. She sits back really, really far, and she hits people from really, really far away, and over time people don't really like using her because it's kind of a boring playstyle. She kind of isn't as fun to play as a lot of other mid-range units and up-close units in the current meta of the game. She's just kind of boring after a while, and if you're going to be putting all your materials into one S-tier character, you might not want to put it into her. Aether has not actually been out for all that long, so players might not necessarily have the resources to blow on all of these really early characters, because then they're going to leave themselves with no gems to be able to pull for upcoming characters that are really, really good. This is kind of how they get you. They get you to pull for characters early so that when a newer, even more fun and cool character comes out after, you'll end up probably having to spend real money in order to get those characters. This is why it's called a gacha game, right? So just something to be aware of. But another thing to be aware of is when I tell people not to pull for these characters, it's just my opinion, and I explain why. I can't explain the whole entire theory and video in the title and thumbnail of the video. I have to pull people in and then explain my reasoning as for why. If you like Darkstar Hell, go ahead and pull for her. Right? If you really like a character's aesthetic or their play style, if you like playing a ranged DPS, you know what I mean? Go pull for her. Play with your heart and not with your mind. The game's easy enough to where we can do that, where we can play with our heart and not necessarily having to play meta every single time. Because there's 3 characters per team anyway. It's not like you're going to completely ruin your account or something by pulling for Hell. Hell is actually going to be a really good character. She's just not going to be as good as some of the other characters coming down the line. She's still a 0.5 character according to the CN network, so just something to think about. It's mostly that there's other characters coming out right afterwards. In fact, Hades and Hera are supposed to be the best characters for the global release for a really long time. So that's why I wanted to warn people about that, because the best characters in the game are coming right after her banner. And so you might want to consider pulling for them instead. Now, like I said, pull for whoever you want, but we do have some really amazing meta characters coming out as well. And Hera and Hades both have some of the best looking, there's some of the best looking characters we're going to get in the game for a long time as well, especially Hades. Me personally, I like Hades the way she looks more than I like any of the other characters in the game so far. I'm 100% going to be pulling for Hades on one of my accounts. So just to let you guys know where my mind sits, I'm pulling for Hades on one account and probably Hera on the other. Part of that's for the content, part of that's because I want to try out their both different play styles, and I'm not going to be able to pull for both on one account. So I'm going to be spreading the love between the two accounts that I have. But like I said, pull for who you love, pull for who you think looks good. Don't let me stop you. It's just my advice to you. So like I said, there's really amazing meta characters coming right after, so consider what you might want to do. Some people kind of like the short girl aesthetic, which is what, Darkstar Hell is completely going to embody. She's kind of like the short emo chick, if you guys like that kind of idea, but tall goth girl Hades is coming literally right after, so just something to think about. Not right after. First we're going to get Hera after Darkstar Hell, then we're going to get Hades, so just something to think about. And I wanted to show you guys here, you can see in the promotional footage there that Comet R4Y Zenkibo Tengu right here on the right is supposed to pair with Darkstar Hell in their burst or ultimate abilities. So if you can get your hands on Comet R4Y Zenkibo Tengu, that would be a really good choice for someone to pair with Darkstar Hell so that they can combo together. Obviously you don't have to do something like that. You can go with some really meta support character to work well as well. But this is the banner. These are the characters, the 4 stars that are going to be on the banner, as well as on the left you can see Darkstar Hell is the special rate up 5-star. And I want to also show you guys what Darkstar Hell's skills are supposed to be as well. And if you didn't know already, Darkstar Hell comes out on August 1st, which is tomorrow as of the filming of this. Now, as you can see, these are her skills here. You can find them on the Aether Twitter if you want. I'm not going to bore you guys by reading all of this to you, but you can pause the video and, screenshot or whatever, read it for yourself. She has different skill abilities that use her magic cannon, especially her skill 2 uses her magic cannon form and she goes into a locked on mode, which is really nice. And her skill 3 is basically like a super OP version of that, where she goes into cannon tower form and she fires multiple cannon shots on a locked on direction. So you can go ahead and pause the video if you want to see that. She also has an ultimate where she summons multiple cannon shots to fire on locked on direction. So she has different forms of being in her magic cannon form in order to be able to attack the enemy from a distance. And as a side note, she will also be dealing shadow damage. And as you can see here, as with any other 5-star that comes to the game, she will also be releasing with a special unique outfit that is specific to her. They're usually $15 in the in-game shop. If this video was helpful to you, maybe leave a like and subscribe. If it wasn't, maybe leave a hate thread in the comments. And I'll catch you guys next time. Good luck on your 50-50s, good luck on your pulls, no matter what you're pulling for. Peace out.